step process to become good looking. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Envision your image. Now, before you start changing your physical appearance, it's really important to envision the kind of person that you want to be. Imagine specific things about yourself that you want to improve. Maybe you're not a fan of your clothes, or you're tired of that same haircut that you've had for years. Whatever it is, before you take action, set aside some time to plan ahead. This is a step that very few people actually take. When it comes to physical appearance, most choices are impulsive and spur of the moment. You see something you like, you imagine an impossible fantasy about how it's going to change your life, and then you buy it without thinking things through. But you end up missing out on the best part of revamping your physical appearance. By planning out your image, you do more than just figure out what you do and you don't like. You create an ideal that represents the person that you want to be. This is where inspiration can come in handy, as long as you use it the right way. Many people browse social media to get an idea of what they want to look like. Now, that's not totally a bad thing. These outlets can show you all the interesting directions you can take your appearance. But the problems start when you try to mimic other people, or you envision yourself turning into an exact copy of someone you admire. No matter how committed you are, that's never going to happen. But hey, that's a good thing. Improving your physical appearance isn't about trying to be someone else. It's about highlighting and showing off the person that you are in the best way that you can. So yeah, use inspiration as a jumping-off point, but make sure that your image always reflects your individuality. Number 2. Assessing strengths. While planning out the things you want to change, don't forget to recognize your strengths. What elements of your appearance do you like the most? Everyone should have a favorite thing about themselves, something that physically divides you from everyone else. It could be anything, from distinct eyebrows to the weird shoes you like to wear. The only qualification is that it's something you genuinely enjoy. Don't just base your strengths off the features that other people are drawn to. Your real strengths are the characteristics that you treasure the most. This unique feature usually becomes a core component of your physical charisma. In other words, it may be the most memorable thing about your appearance, so use it to your advantage. Don't try to hide it from the world. These features should act as a foundation to build your appearance around. And that way, you're always emphasizing the things that you like most about your body, your tastes, or your preferences. Let's say perhaps you have a defined jawline. In this case, strategically growing some facial hair or applying the right types of makeup might just accentuate such a quality. As long as you highlight your individual strengths, you'll feel much more confident and proud of your appearance. Number 3. Physical care. Taking care of your body is the most difficult and diverse step to become better looking. Now, I'm sure you've heard that you need to exercise regularly and eat healthy food whenever you can, not to mention getting enough sleep and drinking plenty of water. But the goal here isn't to impress everyone with how muscular you are. No, these superficial details aren't automatically going to improve your appearance. Physical care is about taking consistent steps to help you look as good as you feel. That means that everyone is going to have a different definition. Some people feel great when they're exercising all the time. Others might find that schedule exhausting and painful. Neither strategy is right or wrong, as long as both of those people enjoy the way they look. You should spend a portion of every day caring for your body, but how much? Well, that's completely up to you. Number 4. Total hygiene. This tip is pretty universal. I can't understate how important that proper hygiene is for your physical appearance. But it's not just about having sparkling white teeth or the silkiest hair. It's about paying attention to the little details so you can feel confident in your own skin. Just think about the last time you went out and realized you forgot to put on deodorant. Were you paranoid that you smelled like body odor the entire time? Now, while you probably didn't smell nearly as bad as you thought, something as insignificant as an unwelcome smell can completely change your appearance. A 2005 study tested this by measuring if odors affect people's perceptions of attractiveness and personality. It turns out smelling good convinced participants that people were more successful, more sociable, and better looking. But hygiene isn't just about keeping other people happy. Knowing you have good hygiene relieves you of that stress and anxiety. It'll be easier to feel confident and secure, which has an equally huge impact on your appearance. Number 5. Personal style. You don't need the most trendy or expensive clothing to improve your style. Despite what you see in the media, these high-end brands don't make you good-looking. The truth is that you look the best when you're wearing clothes that represent who you are and what kind of person you want to be. This is probably a little bit different from the advice that most people give. They'll say things like, hey, wear clothes that show off your figure or give you more sex appeal. But style isn't about wearing what attracts other people's attention. You should choose clothing that you enjoy wearing because it reflects the person wearing them. That should be the ultimate goal of anyone's personal style. You want to discover clothing that feels like you. In other words, your own happiness and confidence are much more important than finding something that shows off your body. Now, of course, it isn't always easy to feel happy with your choices. Many people buy clothes they like, but keep them stuffed in their closet. They stick to what's popular because, well, they just can't find the confidence to wear what they want. If this happens to you, try to remember that your personal style is as good as anyone else's. You might be worried about standing out, but hey, that's not a bad thing. If you have a unique look, it means you found a way to separate yourself from the crowd. You look like you. Hey, and that's something to be proud of. So how do you know what your personal style looks like? Well, it's helpful to base your clothing choices off of your personality, your interests, and your lifestyle. Maybe you want to keep your clothes light and athletic because sports are something that you're passionate about. Or you might choose bright neon colors to match your bubbly personality. The point is to find the meaning behind your style. What makes you choose one piece of clothing over another? How does a hat or a shirt reflect your priorities in life? If you don't know how to answer these questions, don't worry. No one expects you to know exactly who you are. Everyone is a work in progress. So focus on dressing like the version of you that you aspire to be. As long as you're making meaningful decisions, well, you're well on your way to crafting a personal style. Number 6. Decisive possession. Once you've started changing your appearance, there's one big decision left to make. You've figured out your personal style. You're happy with the shape of your body. You're paying attention to the little details. But what's stopping your appearance from regressing back to the way it was before? Step 6 is to take possession of the choices that you've made. Decide right here and now to own your self-image. What that means is you shouldn't feel embarrassed when you wear clothes that you like in public. It means you should stop wishing that you could switch bodies with someone else. Take possession of your figure and your style. These features should be as important to you as your own name. They're a part of who you are, so you should embrace them by looking any way you want. Now, unfortunately, this is where people have the most trouble. They do the hard work to improve their appearance, but they don't have the self-confidence to represent their choices. You might feel worried that it's too different from what's popular or normal. Or maybe you're worried that others won't understand or appreciate the way you look. This kind of self-sabotage can leave you feeling consistently unsatisfied with your appearance. But you shouldn't be afraid to break social norms. Don't hesitate to demonstrate your own vision for yourself, because your vision matters far more than anyone else's. Number 7. Adapting individuality. Your appearance is going to change over time, just like your interests or your personality. As you try new hobbies and meet new people, your old style won't always reflect the most current version of yourself. That's why the last step to become better looking is to be receptive to change. Every few years or after a major shift in your lifestyle, reflect on your preferences and priorities. You may find that you're ready to characterize yourself in a different way. You might want your appearance to show a different side of your personality, or you might discover new passions and strengths that you never knew existed. Changes in appearance are especially common as people get older. For example, your self-image will be completely different if you're in your 20s compared to your teenage years. Just because you liked certain things then doesn't mean you have to like those things now. So don't cling to the person you saw in the mirror 5 or 10 years ago. Instead, find the best way to represent the person looking back at you right now.